Hi folks, Doc Jake from Sioux Nation Ag Center here. You know, there's a lot of old sayings about the wisdom in doing things early. For example, like Grandpa always said, plant your corn early. And you may have heard that the early bird gets the worm. Then of course they say early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Don't ask me why I'm sleeping out here this time. Another thing you can add to that list, weaning calves. Weaning calves early is highly advantageous in situations where forage is short. It takes the pressure off the cow so that she can put body condition back on herself. And if calves are fed the right kind of diet, they will gain just as well in the feed yard as they would as if they stayed on the cow. If this seems odd to you, consider a research study from the Eastern Oregon Research Center in Burns, Oregon. There, they had two groups of cows in the herd. The first group of cows had the calves weaned at a traditional time period, around that 210 days. The other group had the calves weaned at 130 days of age. The group that had calves weaned at 130 days of age maintained their body condition score throughout the entire period of the summer. Basically, when they had their calves taken at 130 days, they were still the same body condition score at 210 days of age for that calf. They also gained 18 pounds of weight. Not a lot, but a little. Now, contrast that with the group that had a traditional weaning method. In this group, the cows actually lost a full body condition score in that time period between the 130 days to 210 days. In addition, that translated into losing 88 pounds of body weight. All that had to be made back up in the wintertime on expensive bought-in feed rather than grazed feed in order for them to get back to the proper body condition they needed to be in for calving. Now, a question many of you might have is, how did the calves do, Doc? That's a great question. And the thing about it is that in a drought situation or any time when grass is getting short, the calves are competing for grass with the cows. You see, a calf when he gets over 130 days of age isn't relying exclusively on the cow for nutrition. That calf is also grazing in order to get enough nutrition. So if grass is short, the calf is competing with the cow for grass. There's not enough grass, well, that means that the calf isn't going to grow as well. By putting the calf in the feed yard instead, the calf actually does better than he would on a short pasture. Now, in addition, several different studies have found that feeding calves early increases the quality grade at slaughter. So if you retain ownership of those calves all the way to the rail, you have a positive impact.
Hey Doc, are there any disadvantages to early weaning my calves?
Well, generic rancher on, there are a few things to consider with early weaning. First, you have to have the feed available to feed the calves when you wean them, and you've got to have good feed. Calves aren't going to do very well if all you give them is old crummy hay and a little bit of shell corn. You want to have a good nutritious ration put together with good quality hay. Plus, these young calves really shouldn't be eating silage, especially when you start them. Now, the other thing you need to keep in mind is early weaned calves can have the potential to have some health issues. This isn't something to stop you, rather it's something that tells you have to keep a close eye on them. So if there's one that gets ill, you treat that calf right away to keep it from becoming a bigger problem. I would recommend having shots into these calves at least 3 weeks before you wean them, and that these calves are already castrated and dehorned if those processes aren't done yet. That will make them less apt to have sickness issues at the time of weaning. So folks, if you're considering early weaning, feel free to reach out to us at Sioux Nation Ag Center. We can help you with advice if you're new to the process and want to make sure it goes as well as it can. We're also available for products such as feed and pharmaceuticals so that you can get those calves fed well and prepped well for weaning. Lastly, if you need help with service work, we're available for that as well. This way your calves are ready to go so they can grow big, which feeds that bottom line. Or if you just need help with processing the cattle or getting any of the supplies, be it feed or pharmaceuticals, that rooster just had to crow right then, didn't he? Dirtbag. All right, in we go. Jeepers.
I don't know why they say that you're going to sleep in the doghouse when you're in trouble, because I think it'd just be easier to sleep outside on the ground than it would be to curl up in this thing with the dog. Oh boy.
If this seems odd to you, consider this study from the University of Nothingness.